All right, up we climb now to the next mode, which is called the Lydian. And this one, as you might guess, begins on F. And like all the others, it uses only white notes all the way up the octave. That's the Lydian mode. Now, what makes this one different from the other two modes we've already talked about? Two things. First, that it's a major mode, as you can hear. It's the first one we've met so far. And second, well, let's see if you can tell me. I'm going to play you our normal scale of F major. And now the Lydian scale, starting on F. Now, there's one very peculiar note in that mode, the only note that's different from the usual F major scale. And I want you to tell me which note is the peculiar one by clapping your hands the second you hear it. Is that a deal? Okay. First, here's the normal F major scale, and don't clap. Good. Now the Lydian scale, and remember you're going to clap when you hear the wrong note. Ah, good, great, exactly. It's the fourth note of the scale, which is a half tone higher than the normal one. That's normal, right? This is abnormal. Good. All right. Now you've got it out of your system. Now that funny note gives this mode a very sort of comical quality, as if a wrong note were being played on purpose. In fact, several 20th century composers have taken advantage of this Lydian mode to get comic effects. For instance, Prokofiev, in his music for his funny film Lieutenant Kijé, uses this mode with its raised fourth note in this piccolo solo. Hear it? Could you detect that wrong note? Now, if this had been written in the straight major scale, it would sound like this. Right? But no, Prokofiev adds his comic touch by using that Lydian raised fourth. But I don't want you to get the idea that the Lydian mode is only comical. On the contrary, it can be a very serious mode indeed. In fact, Beethoven wrote a long, extremely serious movement of a string quartet in this very mode. And of course, it's still used in Roman Catholic plain chant in church. And again, Sibelius, who was always a great mode lover, was constantly using the Lydian mode, as in this passage from his Fourth Symphony. Hear that Lydian note? Only this time it's not a funny note, but a strange, piercing note that seems to come from a faraway place. And that's only natural because these modes do come from faraway places, like the Middle East and Eastern European countries like Greece, Bulgaria, Finland, Russia, Poland. In fact, Poland is one of the main breeding grounds for this Lydian mode. You constantly hear it in Polish folk music, and in the works of Poland's greatest composer, who was Chopin, of course, especially when he was writing Polish-type dance pieces like polonaises and mazurkas. Here's a bit from one of his best-known mazurkas, and see if you can hear that Lydian sound. It's an odd sound, isn't it? So fresh and sharp, like the taste of lemon juice. And it's a very Polish sound. In fact, when the Russian composer Mussorgsky, now follow this, when the Russian composer Mussorgsky was writing the third act of his opera Boris Godunov, an act which takes place in Poland, he used this same Polish Lydian mode for his polonaise, which means Polish dance.